What up, YouTube? So I took 2 burrito shells and stuck them together with some bacon grease. Oh, speaking of grease. Blow my trolls a kiss. Now, when you throw your burritos shells in the oven, preheat, they get a little crispy and hard to fold. I learned that the hard way, cuz. That's why I have all these toothpicks to hold it in place, so when it chimichangas up, none of it leaks or falls apart. Now, in the middle of this fucking big ass burrito, I got some chili beans, a little bit of this Army brand chopped pork patties, some of this cured pork liver. So we got pork patties and pork liver, and a couple of snails. I tried the snails. I actually like the taste of snails. They're a little salty. Trying to record the video for making this burrito was a fucking disaster. Now, after I layered everything, all 4 of these meats, into this burrito, I added a small pinch of crushed nacho cheese Doritos and a sprinkle of sharp cheddar cheese. What kind of sauce did I use for the burrito? Is it in here? Yes. And after I layered the middle of that burrito with everything, I added a sprinkle of the Secret Aardvark Red Scorpion Fiery Hot Sauce. I tried a lick of it. It's definitely spicy. I didn't need a whole lot. I did not need a whole lot to layer the inside of that burrito. The last couple of times you see me make cooking videos, I make these baked burritos where I cover the shell in like margarine or butter and it makes it into a chimichanga kind of thing. I overbaked my base tortilla shells, so when I tried to fold it, it crumbled. And like I said, you don't gotta heat the tortilla shells up too much. So I'll let that bake in the oven. Then when it gets real crispy on top, after I add the butter to it, I'll pull all the toothpicks out. Then we're going to sprinkle some more of that nacho cheese. Look, that sharp cheddar on top with the crunchiness of the Doritos. So we're going to sprinkle that's going to be the last bit. I got the burrito wrapped. Not as pretty as I'd like it to be wrapped. But there's the hot sauce we used. And the meats. Trying to watch me make this burrito was a fucking disaster. But I know enough with making these burritos the last couple of times with my cooking videos that as soon as the shell bakes after what I do my next step, that I'm not going to need the toothpicks for the end results. So watching me try to fold it was a complete disaster, but at least I was able to save it. However, you're going to miss me trying snails for the first time, but you'll see me trying it in the sea burrito. Things never go as quite as we planned. Sometimes. We got some Country Crock Original Now, every time I make these big ass chimichanga style burritos, I roll a burrito, and if it needs, usually if I fold it just right, I don't need a toothpick to hold it in place. I place the creased side of the burrito down face so that everything else is facing up. And I don't need toothpicks. But if you over crispify your shells before preheating them, because that can happen, folks. It really can. You want to like preheat your tortilla shells so they're a little bit more softer and easier to roll with. But if you overheat the shells, they get a little bit crispy. So then when you try to fold a burrito, motherfucker just falls apart, man. But as I've said before, sometimes toothpicks are a chef's best friend. Like shit. I was barely able to save the burrito. And I'm still new to rolling burritos. I know the technique and how you fold it on the inside and then kind of roll it so it creates a seal on both ends kind of thing. And people are so used to me doing cooking videos anymore. They don't care how gross it is. They almost expect it at this point. Like, oh, Cobra got canned snails from his YouTube fans. That is so fucking weird. Why would you? I tried it. They're a little salty. They taste like the ocean. But I like canned fish and that sort of thing, so I thought they tasted good. I like snails. I like the way they taste. But you see all the chef's toothpicks that I had to use to assist in rolling my burrito, which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't overheated. You know, when I preheat the tortilla shells, it's only to make them soft and pliable. Because normally when you do it, the tortilla shells are naturally soft and pliable, but you warm them up slightly, just enough to make them a little bit more doughy in consistency. It just makes it easier to roll your burritos and your tacos and what have you. But if you overheat the preheating process, your tortilla shells get crispy, and then when you don't want them to, kind of thing. Now I have the oven preheated to 350. Now we're gonna, so you see me make the burritos 1,000 times already. I gave you the ingredients. We're gonna make this snail stuffed burrito. Bake it. And after a minute, all that butter is gonna melt, all the country crock's gonna melt. It's gonna soak into that flour tortilla burrito shell. And make the outside of it golden crispy like a chimichanga. That's the secret I discovered. So even if it ain't rolled the prettiest, you can use chef's toothpicks to hold it in place. Once you get it baked and held into place, it doesn't go anywhere or move. You know, it'll get to the point where that shell doesn't come undone. So let that tortilla shell get nice and crispy. Before the whole thing is entirely crispy, you leave like a little bit left to get nice and crisped up. When it's at that point, take it out of the oven. Hit the top of it with some fresh shredded cheese from the sharp cheddar that I put in the middle of it. And then crush up some nacho cheese Doritos to sprinkle on top, and then slap it back in the oven, so by the time it's done fully crispifying, the cheese is slightly crispy on top of the shell. It creates a very delicious effect.